I'm Bleeding Critic. Welcome to Scary Stories UK. It's time for the top 10 incurable diseases. Coming in at number 10. Congenital central hyperventilation syndrome. Most people are able to breathe easily as they sleep. CCHS is a rare and unique disorder of respiratory control. When you breathe, whether you're awake or asleep, you don't have to think about it. But people with CCHS can't breathe while they're asleep. Most are hooked up to ventilators to keep them alive while sleeping. Number 9. Trigeminal neuralgia. Constant and frequent headaches are a sign of this disease. Trigeminal neuralgia is a chronic pain condition that affects the nerve which carries sensation from your face to your brain. Even mild stimulation of your face, such as from brushing your teeth or putting on makeup, can trigger a jolt of excruciating pain when one of the nerves attached to the brain becomes damaged. This disease causes frequent episodes of severe head pain that can last up to 2 minutes at a time. The sharp, shooting pain is like having an electric shock in the jaw, teeth or gums. Number 8. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. This brain disease is particularly deadly. It's a fatal degenerative brain disorder. Early symptoms include memory problems, behavioural changes, poor coordination and visual disturbances. 90% of people who start showing symptoms of this disease die within a year. This brain disease can't be controlled or treated. Researchers don't even know what causes it. Thankfully, only about 1 in a million people develop it. Number 7. Rabies. Beware of bites from wild animals. Rabies is a viral disease transmitted to humans usually by a bite or scratch from an infected animal, usually a dog or a raccoon. This virus attacks the central nervous system, causing progressive damage to the brain and spinal cord. Once symptoms are present, rabies is almost always fatal. The symptoms of rabies in the later stages of an infection will result in a person having difficulty swallowing, and then they show panic when presented with liquids to drink and can't quench their thirst. They actually develop a fear of water. Number 6. Marburg hemorrhagic fever. People with this disease first experience a fever, chills and headaches, symptoms similar to a standard flu virus. It quickly progresses, causing organ failure, hemorrhaging, dehydration and eventually death. It's very difficult to diagnose and treat properly because it shares many symptoms with malaria. On to number 5. Brainerd diarrhea. Now this disease is terrifying. People infected with Brainerd diarrhea experience up to 20 episodes of severe diarrhea every day. It's a sudden, watery, explosive diarrhea that lasts for months and doesn't respond to any antibiotics. Its cause is unknown, but it's been associated with the consumption of raw milk and untreated water. Number 4. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. A healthy young man and his fiancée was living in the Four Corners area of the USA and died within days of developing shortness of breath. A total of 617 cases of HPS has been reported in the USA. 35% of all cases were fatal. Now, the virus isn't transmitted from one person to another. People actually get this disease from exposure to infected mice droppings. Number 3. Septicemic plague. Septicemic plague is a life-threatening infection of the blood, most commonly spread by bites from infected fleas. Its symptoms include fever, chills, extreme weakness, abdominal pain, shock and bleeding into the skin and other organs. Your skin will turn black and die, especially on fingers, toes and the nose. Number 2. Ebola. Ebola is a deadly disease caused by infection. Ebola symptoms include fever, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea and bleeding from multiple orifices. As the virus spreads through the body, it damages the immune system and organs. Ultimately, it causes levels of blood clotting cells to drop, which leads to severe, uncontrollable bleeding. Here we go, it's number 1. Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva is a severe disabling disorder. With this disease, you lose the ability to move. People with FOP basically become human statues. Over time, they lose the ability to move, eat and breathe because their muscles and connective tissues turn to bone. It's rare, but those who have it also die with it and there is no cure.